So let's talk about Social Security. And specifically, I want to talk about what some people are saying is a really good news for Social Security recipients, and yet some people are saying that no, this isn't good news, this is actually bad. So, what is the news? Well, the good news is that inflation is dropping. That's part of the good news. But how long is this going to be good news for? Well, that's what we're going to get to in today's video. So first off, all I ask is if you can spend just 2 seconds, go ahead, hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's begin. So why are prices coming down? Why is inflation dropping? Inflation is simply dropping because our economy is slowing down. But why is this good news for Social Security recipients? Well, according to all experts, they're saying the reason why this is good news is because prices are not going up as high, which means the amount of money that Social Security recipients have can actually go further. Your buying power is increased. Well, here's part of the bad news. Your buying power is not increasing. Essentially, your buying power is still going down, even though inflation and the CPI report went from 9.1% a year ago to currently 4%. That does not mean you're saving 5.1%. No, it simply means you're still spending an additional 4% more than you were last year. Now, here's part of the good news. Part of the good news is that food prices were coming down. What are the things that Social Security recipients spend the majority of their money on? It's food, it's gas, transportation, housing, there's medicine and healthcare, right? Well, what we knew was food prices were coming down. They were dropping nicely, right? Gas prices were coming down. Transportation costs are not rising as quickly as they once were. And overall living expenses for the elderly, again, have only increased by 4% over the past year. It's actually considered really good news. Now, here's the problem. And this is why other experts say that yes, seeing inflation come down is good news, but some say that no, this is bad. Here's the reason why. Inflation dropping is actually going to bring down the cost of living adjustment for 2024. This is something that we've been going through over the past, been going through it for years, right? Every single year in the third quarter, this is when the CPI report matters for Social Security recipients. Here's the problem. The Fed, they pretty much put a pause on raising rates temporarily. The expectation, though, is they're going to continue to raise rates after a month or so of holding. The expectation, according to the Fed's dot plot, is simply saying that they will raise rates. It will get to 5.5 to 5.75%, which means we're going to have another 2, possibly 3 rate increases over the course of 2023. Well, here's part of the issue. Currently, based off of where inflation has been headed and what the CPI report is saying, according to the Senior Citizens League, they predict that the cost of living adjustment for 2024 is going to be no more than 2.7%. Last month, the expectation was 3.1%. And the reason why expectation is because we do not know exactly what the cost of living adjustment is going to be until they run the calculations. But the calculations are based off of the third quarter of each calendar year, which means July, August, and September. Those 3 months are the only months that matter. But if inflation ticks up after those 3 months, the cost of living adjustment will not change. So that's part of the issue. Is some are expecting we are going to see over the next few months, we're going to see the Fed come out. They're going to raise rates a little bit more, probably about 0.5%, right? 50 basis points. When they do that, chances are inflation's going to come down even further, but what they're expecting is they're actually going to reverse course and cut rates most likely in 2024, which would mean inflation would go back up, and yet your cost of living adjustment is locked in at that set amount. This is also why there's many lawmakers at this time trying to push for changes to the way that the cost of living adjustment is actually calculated, using the CPI-E, ensuring that the cost of living adjustment and the increases are actually indexed to inflation, right? So if we see it goes up, well, the amount goes up. Not that it just locks off after one specific quarter in the prior year. Some say that just doesn't work. Now, a big factor when it comes to CPI is shelter. Here's the reason I want to just break this down. One of the things that everybody's looking at when it comes to the inflation report is shelter. Shelter makes up a third of the weight of the CPI report. Right now, shelter is one of the biggest things yet to fall. If we see this domino fall and shelter and housing collapses, we could see the inflation report completely drop. Okay? This would be, well, let me just break it down this way. If this happens during the third quarter of 2023, so coming up, the worry is that this is actually going to hurt Social Security recipients in 2024. Because then we're going to see it's going to drop over the next few months, then it will start to pick back up. People will start buying houses. Inflation is going to go back up after it drops. We're going to see specifically regarding the Fed and interest rates are actually going to decline, right? We're going to see cuts. If that happens, businesses will spend more, individuals will spend more, credit card debt will increase, cars will start to be sold again. Right now we're seeing dealerships just packed full, and they're crammed with just more and more cars. Okay? But the other problem again is food. So we have an issue with housing. We have an issue obviously with just consumer spending in general, but the other issue is food. Right now, food costs for the average household have actually been declining. That's actually really good news. But here's the problem. According to experts, they are saying that food prices are expected to increase due to unpredictable weather. Right now, we're having a very difficult time, especially for farmers, as to what is going to happen with their crops. Because right now, this constantly changing weather and the conditions we're facing, this is actually really worrying a lot of people. And experts predict this is only going to get worse, not better. The reason why? We are expected to have just a massive amount of wildfires, not just here in the US, but in Canada as well. The smoke damage will hurt many crops. We will see cattle will be impacted. Water is still an issue. There's certain parts that we will experience a drought. Again, there's a lot of issues here. So what some are saying is good news for Social Security recipients. Others say that, hey, not so fast. There might be some major problems on the horizon that many people just aren't seeing. So just wanted to fill you in on what's going on right now, because again, one of the things I've been hearing a lot lately from many people that are either right at that age to start collecting Social Security benefits, or those that are, still have 5 more years, is I talked to somebody just the other day. Okay, she is, I think she's 61. I believe she's 61. I don't know for sure, but I believe 61. And she said that her and her husband were thinking about going and buying a condo. They want to go buy a condo. They want to do that probably within the next few months over the course of the summer, because they are always going to a certain location, little beach town, love it. They know rates are high. It's okay. They know prices are high, but this is their dream. They want to do this, and they understand once they can start collecting Social Security benefits, that's going to help them pay for this house or this condo. I don't know. Probably not the smartest move. I gave my input on it. Whether they take what I said or not, I don't know. But as of right now, that's what they're thinking. I talked to somebody just the other day as well. This is a person that was, I think they're 70, in the mid 70s, have been collecting Social Security benefits for some time, and their plan is to co-sign on a car loan for their granddaughter. Granddaughter's turning around 21 or 18 or whatever it is. So they are very excited, want to co-sign on this. And it's like, again, think about it, because again, as a co-signer, you are responsible for that loan as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Everything is going to impact you and your finances, Social Security. We don't know what's going to happen there, if we're going to see increases, decreases, if things are going to stay the same. Again, I try to keep you up to date on everything that's going on. All you got to do is click that subscribe button so you never miss an update. But that is all I got for you guys today. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.